a stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to race to the top. I'm ready to do this, show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Yeah. So what are you afraid of? Those feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame. Show them what you made of. It's time that we stand up. It's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. My time. Nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to throw down. It's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise. Don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. Lower the lights down. Hand over my crown. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up. I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart. I do this for my town. I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Anytime you can have a product that can truly change someone's life, I think that's an incredibly powerful product. I can't tell you how long we put into research and development for this. Most liquid carnitine is around 1,000 milligram blend of 4 different types of liquid carnitine. We also have GBB, so you're actually going to be burning fat after you consume this product. This is going to make you sweat. This is going to make you not want to stop. You are going to perform like you've never performed before, and I can promise you that.
Live from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway in virtual North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, welcome sim racing fans to the Core Premier Series playoffs live on Racecraft TV. However that you all could join us on this beautiful Sunday evening, wherever you're tuning in around the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside with me in the commentary booth is Jordan Hicks. And Jordan, we enter into another race of this playoffs, working our way through round number 2. Nick Nickerson in the 2, locked into the next round. Nobody else is at the moment.
You know, this is definitely an interesting track here tonight, and you know, Josh, we've seen a lot from the 2 of Nick Nickerson, and so I'm interested to see how he gets it done here tonight as he's going to win. He's trying to win every single race that's coming up.
And he has an opportunity to win it tonight here as they'll take on the super late models at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Here is your wild card standings as well. Just saw the playoff standings. The winner of this wild card standings championship will join the 4 qualifiers from the regular playoff standings in the finale in the street stocks at Iowa for the final race of the season and to crown our champion of the Core Racing Premier Series. Derek Sherman currently leads the way, 28 points over Jimmy Covert there in second place. Tonight we go racing at the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway, and the only version of North Wilkesboro Speedway that currently exists in the world. Unfortunately overrun and closed down for many years now. Everybody, of course, in the area and around the world who love this historic facility are trying to save it. One of those efforts was from iRacing to put it in as one of the tracks on the service, and luckily we can't race it in real life, but we can race it virtually. Opened in 1947, it is a very, very tough 0.625 mile short track, a little over a kilometer. Sits the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Uneven turns as well on either end of the speedway. Downhill braking into turn number 1, uphill braking into 3. This is a challenging course that is only going to get even more challenging for these drivers as they'll take to the racetrack for tonight's race. Qualifying currently working its way down as we get ready to get going tonight. And Jordan, you mentioned the 2 of Nick Nickerson trying to win every race that remains on the calendar right now. Where he sits, he is sitting at 2 wins in a row on this season. Of course, winning 1 week ago, Daytona Prototypes at Mount Panorama. He won the GT3s at Daytona, and actually he's 3 in a row. He won the Pro Mazdas at Canadian Tire as well. That 2 machine is unstoppable right now, but might notice those 3 racetracks are 3 road courses. We're going back to an oval. He's got a lot of great oval racers that are going to be trying to knock him off the top step of the podium.
And, you know, definitely we have a lot of fast racers, like you said, here tonight. And, you know, there's a saying that goes out for the 2 that you can put him in any car and put him on any track, and he's good at both of them. And so I'm interested to see how he gets it done tonight, but I'm also expecting a lot of cars to get loose depending on how they enter those corners.
This track, known historically as a very tough racetrack back when it was run on the NASCAR Winston Cup Series calendar, and this track also has a lot of characteristics of that tire wear. These cars that love to get loose around this course, and the Super Late models are a loose car on this iRacing service. They are not the easiest things to drive. So we'll see how these drivers will take to the track tonight. And full of drivers currently finishing up their qualifying laps. Kevin Foster just set another time up on the board as we continue down that clock for the starting grid here tonight. But just taking a look once again at those playoff standings, we are looking at a very good playoff fight on our hands. As you take a look at it right there on your screen, Chris Hamilton very close behind the two. Mason Smith is there, but Carl Handwerk, I think, Jordan, the surprise of this playoff standings right now, only 4 points above that cut line to Mark Thomas. Handwerk needs a win, and he's gonna need it soon, or else he is going to be knocked out of this playoff.
You know, definitely. We're used to seeing him getting about like 4+ wins, and so I'm curious on what's going on with him, but we've seen previously the last few weeks, he's not really been getting the best luck. So best of luck to him here tonight, and maybe he can pull off a win.
Mark Thomas is there to try and go above the cut line. Paul Butler is there to try and go above the cut line. Adam Jones is there to try and go above the cut line. 3 drivers can try and knock off Carl Handwerk and Mason Smith, depending on how they do here tonight in the Core Racing Premier Series from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. 2 minutes remain in qualifying before we go underway and get on the grid to begin all of tonight's festivities. Let's take a look at that race analysis. 125 laps around this 0.625 mile short track in North Carolina. Race 2 of round number 2 of the playoffs, and as always, these drivers will have that one fast repair to their advantage that they will be able to use here tonight. Handful of cars still taking time, and Kevin Foster on the racetrack doing some practice laps. Same thing with Mason Smith in the 6, but it looks like everybody who elected to take time in qualifying has taken time here in qualifying. So we're just waiting on that clock to wind its way down, and then we'll be off and away here from North Wilkesboro. Heading into tonight's race, you can take a look at that schedule. We only have 3 races remaining on the calendar for the Core Racing Premier Series this week. Super Late models at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. 410 sprint cars at Eldora in 1 week's time. That is bound to be an exciting race. And then we have an off week for the 4th of July, and then we're right back here for the finale round of the playoffs and the season with the street stocks at the Iowa Speedway. Don't miss any of the remaining 2 rounds or this round here from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. Subscribe to Racecraft TV, click the notification bell, and be notified every time we go live for the Core Racing Premier Series, Vintage Cup Series, Off-Road Racing League, or anything else here on Racecraft TV. You'll be able to get notified every time we go live. Clock winding down now on qualifying as we get ready to go racing from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. The Save the Speedway campaign still continuing, and we hope to see North Wilkesboro Speedway back on the NASCAR Cup Series calendar one day. That day, unfortunately, is not today, but what today is it's time to see these drivers go racing virtually around one of the most famous short tracks in all of the United States and the world. Let's take a look at your starting grid here for today's race at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Grabbing the pole, no surprise at who is on the top of the leaderboard. It is the 2 of Nick Nickerson. He qualifies on the pole, 18.418, an amazing time from him. Adam Jones sits on the outside of the front row. It's Kevin Foster, Paul Butler, Christopher Hamilton, and Brandon Mettler rounding out your top 6 out from there. Paul Owens, Mason Smith share row 4. Derek Sherman, Patrick Cooney rounds out your top 10. Matt Crockett, Wesley Fuller, Dave Lohr, Mark Thomas, David Castelli, the last driver to take time. Carl Andrick not electing to take time on the racetrack. Very interesting choice from the 18. Jeremy Line Watkins, Jimmy Covert round out your top 18. Dylan McDonald and John Crane round out your top 20. And Joshua Bellitter in the 3 is actually his wife, Caitlin Bellitter. She'll be starting the field at 21st on the grid. Field taking now to the North Wilkesboro Speedway front stretch as we'll get ready to go racing here tonight. Like we mentioned, a historic track here that these drivers are getting ready to go racing on. And we are getting ready to pace the field. But before that, they will go 3 wide, show their salute for all of you fans watching here on Racecraft TV as they get ready to go racing from North Wilkesboro. Getting ready to go racing now from the historic North Wilkesboro Speedway, virtually here in iRacing. Awesome to see historic racetracks get remade here in the iRacing service. And it is time to go racing from North Wilkesboro. Pace car down and away. We're racing! Caution already out on the racetrack here, completing the first lap, or first 2 laps of the race, and looks like Mark Thomas might have been involved in this one. We'll grab a look at our Racecraft TV replay, see exactly what happened to the number 50, if it was him that was involved in this incident. Looks like it was coming down the back straightaway. Oh, made contact with the 001 at Patrick Cooney, and around he goes hard into the wall. Luckily, this is virtual racing because that wall is concrete here at the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. That would have been a very, very hard hit if it was taken in real life. But once again, luckily we are here in the sim, so no bodily harm to the number 50 of Mark Thomas here tonight. But that will put us under the first caution of the night here from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. Nobody electing to pit, and pit stops are going to be a rarity here tonight, as I believe they're only going to need to pit for fuel once, and tires are somewhat of a commodity in super late models to be able to pit for tires. It is not something that is often done in super late model racing, or really any short track racing for that matter. They don't have the full NASCAR Cup Series pit crews that people are accustomed to seeing week in and week out. But as we pace under the iRacing pace car for the first time tonight, we'll grab a break here on Racecraft TV, but don't go anywhere. When we return, it's more green flag action from North Wilkesboro.
We needed more. More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of businessmen and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
You'll be able to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack with energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of GO.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end.
But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy,
Stamina.
and hydration. We call it Refresh Technology.
And it delivers more.
Welcome back to the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. Sorry about that extended break. They are back racing here in the Core Racing Premier Series, and battle for the lead is starting to brew up. The 2 of Nick Nickerson on the outside. Adam Jones inside as they battle for the lead.
You can see following behind them is the 64 of Christopher Hamilton as he's trying to make his way up to the top of the field. He's diving into the bottom, but he just doesn't have enough push. As you can see, the 46 and the 2 are side by side for P1 right now.
The 46 trying to work that inside line, not going to work well. The 64 now going to catch up to that back bumper of the car in front. We go on board with the 64, Christopher Hamilton. Dives it back into the corner, trying to work his way closer to the front of the field. And there you can see, that is the front of the field right there. The 2 car leading the way once again. Can Adam Jones work his way around? 46, very fast to start this race. This time by at the line. The time for the 2 is going to be an 18.473, but the caution comes back out here on the racetrack. David Castelli stopped on the back straightaway. See what happened to the number 48 machine. Getting stopped on the back straightaway. Looks like it might have happened coming here at turn 3. He's going to tap, or sorry, turn 2. Going to tap the grass, and ooh, hard hit for Patrick Cooney in the 001. That was a rough hit for the 001. You're on board with him now. Sees the 48 coming up, and nowhere for him to go. Slams on the brakes, but slams into him. Really unfortunate for both of those drivers. Castelli has not had the best season, neither has Patrick Cooney in the races that he has started. And both of them are going to have some slightly worse nights now. That'll put us under the yellow flag for the second time here tonight. Field pacing behind the official iRacing pace car. Field going into turn number 3. The 2 car doing a fantastic job, still leading the way, and as you can see, has not left that first position anytime past the line, and a fake out into the pit lane for the 2. He's staying out on the racetrack for the time being, and not expecting him to at least come in until around halfway through this race. We are only 17 laps completed, 8 on lap number 18 now here from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. The One of the last short track of the season here for the Core Racing Premier Series. We'll be at a dirt oval next week, and then we'll be finishing off the season at Iowa, which is a bit of a short track, still a little bit longer than North Wilkesboro especially, but a handful of other short tracks as well. And pace car comes across the line. We'll keep those lights on. Field getting ready to go back to racing here in about 2 laps. Biggest mover of the race so far, even though it's only been a handful of green flag laps. Jimmy Covert in the 14. Up 8 spots from where he originally started the day. So a great day for him so far. Looking to continue that strength here in the after the restart. Field's going to come across the start-finish line, and the lights will go out on the iRacing.com pace car, and we'll be right back to racing here from North Wilkesboro. A little bit of cloud cover going to enter over the speedway. We'll see if that'll affect these drivers. And will it affect the track temperature out there on the track? Currently 95-degree track temp, partly cloudy day here in virtual North Carolina. 78-degree air temp, the normal iRacing air temp, and a track temperature of 95. Not too hot, but definitely not giving these drivers any favors in the grip department. And we are right back to racing here from North Wilkesboro.
A great restart for the 2 of Nickerson, but you can see the 46 of Jones following right behind as he's not letting him go, exiting 1 and 2.
Battle for the lead heating up. 2/10 separating these two as they enter off of the corner. Everybody starting to get a little single file as well as they'll race back to the back straightaway. Back to the front straightaway now, off of turn 4. Little bit of a better lap for the 2 car that time by Jones, not able to close in enough on board with Adam Jones. Downshifting into 3rd, trying to get all the speed as he can out of that car on exit. And doing that pretty well as well. He is able to reel in the 2 slightly, just not enough to be able to find his way to the lead. Back to the back straightaway, and Adam Jones at the 46 starting to catch up at least slightly. Christopher Hamilton falling back in the 64. Everybody's starting to spread out here on the racetrack. Side by side, a little bit further back. It looks like that's Jimmy Covert stuck on the outside. Wesley Fuller going by in the 35. Fuller stuck on the outside now, going by the 18 of Handwork. He'll gain another spot here on the racetrack. Back to the inside now. That's Derek Sherman in the 51. So we'll work our way now 31 laps down. And still a lot of time remaining here at the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. Still up in front, it's the 2, but Adam Jones starting to slightly close that gap further in. About 2.5 tenths at the line separating both of these drivers. Back to the front straightaway they go. Jones just not able to close the gap enough to have a run at the 2 for the lead. Christopher Hamilton trying his best from further back. On board with him. Hamilton trying to catch up all he can here on the racetrack. Just not able to close in near enough to make any sort of thing happen. We'll see if he'll be able to, because he has been hand over fist one of the most dominant cars and drivers of the season in this series. He is currently not locked into the next round of the playoffs, still trying to lock himself in. Another driver that is looking to lock himself into the next round, Adam Jones, 10 points back from the cut line. Great start to his night there in P2. We'll see if he can keep that good start up and make it a good finish behind the wheel of that number 46. Losing ground now to the 2, however. Long green flag run, tires starting to wear, as we have a whole pack of cars fighting back here. This is the battle for, looks to be P11 on the racetrack between Covert and McDonald. John Crane sends it in there. He's currently in 13th. Now to the inside to try and take over 13th. It's Mason Smith in the 6. Oh, up on the wall is the 199 of John Crane. Smith goes down to the inside to try and avoid the accident. He almost makes another accident as well with the 199, but they get it settled out.
It seems like everybody's trying to race really aggressive right now, as we're just getting pretty much started with the race, so these cars are still kind of loose. Tires kind of, I would say, getting used to it, but now that you were saying previously, Josh, these tires are starting to wear, so these drivers got to be careful how they send it into those turns, because you never know what happens as the 199 gets loose coming out of 1 and 2.
Still side by side with the 6, battling for 13th on the racetrack. Smith will get it. Back to the inside goes the 199. Not trying to waste any time is John Crane. Still on that inside line, still side by side. Smith trying to work that outside line, and he's not doing a terrible job at it. He'll power around the outside to take that spot away. Now officially into 13th is Mason Smith. Carl Handwerk makes up another spot on Christopher Hamilton. He is also trying to run his way further up the racetrack. He is started in 16th. Gained 12 spots now on the racetrack. He is your biggest mover at the moment as he tries to move himself even further up the road and up the leaderboard. He has Kevin Foster in front of him. Foster trying to fight Adam Jones. Handwerk catches all of these cars up here. battling for the second spot. All three of them tight together on the racetrack. Side by side now, the 18 and the 8. Kevin Foster almost hits the wall coming down the back straightaway. He's able to save it. Now that will move Handwork up into P3 now on the racetrack. Battling with Foster now for P2. To the inside goes Handwork. And the 18 car coming alive here at North Wilkesboro. Runs the bottom of the racetrack. He'll take over second place. Now Handwork goes to try and chase down the 2.
And Josh, I'm just imagining how hard he was working that wheel, because he made up so much ground within those few laps. But now he's got to catch up to Nickerson, which has got about almost 2 seconds of a gap in front of him. As you can see, a lap car right ahead, so it's going to be interesting to see how he works around to catch the 2.
How quickly will he be able to catch him as well? He'll work his way into turn number 3. Issue in turn 4. John Crane of the 199 is around, and we are under the yellow flag.
Interested to see what happened exactly to the 199 as he hit the rail coming down off the top of the track. As we're going to take a look at a Racecraft replay. You can see him running that high line pretty solid as of right now, entering 3 and 4. Tries to cut down, and he makes contact with the 001, and up into the wall he goes.
Looked like also the 001 might have hit the apron there. We'll take another look. We'll go on board the 001. It looks like, yes, he did. He hit the curb and right up into the 199. And that sent Crane up and around and into the wall. Cars in the pit lane here on the front straightaway, however. The 2 is in. Everybody is in except for Paul Owens, Jeremy Lyon Watkins, Matt Crockett, and Caitlin Bellitter staying out on the racetrack out of your leaders. Everybody else staying out is 1 lap down, or Dave Lohr trying to grab his wave around. Lohr comes in, Paul Owens comes in, Jeremy Lyon Watkins comes in, and everybody else does come in. So the 2 of Nick Nickerson wins the race off pit road. He'll be leading the field back to green after this short break here on Racecraft TV. We'll be back with more green flag action when we return.
We needed more.
More from our bodies,
More from our minds.
so we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible.
Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of GO.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end.
But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy.
Stamina.
Welcome back to the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. We're back underway here in the Core Racing Premier Series, field diving through turns 1 and 2 as we continue on this racetrack. And 2 by 2 further back, Foster will take over P3. Covert stays in P4. Now Handwork goes to the outside to try and take over the spot.
You can see a great restart already for the 2 of Nickerson, as we previously saw going at the restart. And we see contact. The 35 gets spun, made contact with the 65, I'm pretty sure. And that is the big one as it collects multiple cars here at North Wilkesboro.
Multiple cars around. Jeremy Line Watkins is around. Wesley Fuller is around. An insane wreck there. They were 3 wide coming off of turn number 4. Not at all surprised that we saw an incident here. The 91 makes contact with the 35. So does the 68. 65 makes contact with the 3 of Caitlin Bellitter. One more went spinning down. That's the 71. John Crane getting damage here too. A lot of cars getting damaged. One more look at it here. The 91 just came right down. And then the 68 drove right through the 35. 3 cars slams into the wall. So does the 71, the 199. Handful of drivers involved in that one as they wreck in turn number 2 and onto the back straightaway. So that'll put us back under the yellow flag. And very quickly, mind you, reaching halfway through this race is in just about 4 laps. We'll be there at halfway. Virtual North Wilkesboro, always providing exciting action. As this race continues to develop, Jordan, we're seeing a very interesting race because we've seen the dominant cars up front. You have the 2, you have the 46, you have the 8. Carl Andwerk has started to come alive after not qualifying and now being up here in 4th place, 12 spots from where he started in 16th. So we're seeing handwork up here. Jimmy Covert's having a pretty good day. Metler, Crockett, Sherman, McDonald, the top 5. A lot of fast race cars, just nobody able to really touch the top 2 or let alone the leader for the majority of this race.
You know, definitely the 2 and the 46 are running the most consistent laps, I would say, on this track right now. But it's definitely causing for a very entertaining race. It's definitely entertaining me, but, you know, we saw the 18 previously. He started creeping up to that top pack those previous laps, so I'm interested to see, will he be able to catch the 2, or will it just keep him behind? And I'm pretty sure he's just sitting in 4th place right now. But great movement for the 18 of Carl Handwerk, and the top 2 right now are sitting in pretty good spots as we are in lap 61 of 125. Very interesting race so far.
Points, of course, on the line. Playoff eligibility for the finale is on the line. The 2 already locked into that finale, but we know he is trying to win every single race. He is not slowing down as we enter into the final 2 races of this round. This is the middle portion of the round. The 46 looking to lock himself into the finale at Iowa. So is the 8 of Kevin Foster. So is the 18 of Carl Handwerk. Top 4, all playoff drivers. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th looking to lock themselves into the finale. We're back racing. Side by side, still further back. Cars shuffling around. To the 68, Butler on the outside. Mason Smith behind him, side by side, further back. Look at Christopher Hamilton having a fight from the back here in the 64. Oh, Hamilton goes down to the bottom of the racetrack, makes contact with Caitlin Bellitter in the 3. And Hamilton goes right up to the top of the racetrack. That's not going to work for him. He's trying to get around all of these drivers, but he's slowing himself down even further in 13th. The 64, again, one of the fastest cars of this race, stuck in a traffic jam in the back of the field. Up front, Adam Jones trying to close that gap, and so is Carl Handwerk. He is now in clean air trying to catch those front 2. Over halfway done with this race now. And what a race it is developing out to be. Drivers made one pit stop 15 laps ago. They should be around good to the end on fuel for this race, and no tires really being taken. The caution comes back out. Oh, the 17 of Dave Lohr into the wall, and it looks like along with the 001 of Patrick Cooney into the wall as well. Have a look at the Racecraft TV replay. 001 of Patrick Cooney involved in this one. Did the wreck start in front of him? No, it looks like the 35 makes a little bit of contact with the 001, and the 71 of Jeremy Watkins nowhere to go. Dave Lohr gets it slowed down just barely in time. One more look here. We'll go on board with the 35. Interested to see exactly what happened here. Looks like Fuller might have just gotten in a little bit too hot. Contact with the car in front. Sent him up and around and into the wall. Handful of cars making their way into the pit lane. Your leaders still stay out on the racetrack. You're watching the Core Racing Premier Series live on Racecraft TV. We'll be back with more green flag action from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. Welcome back to the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. You're tuning in to the Core Racing Premier Series live here on Racecraft TV. Field comes back to the front straightaway behind the iRacing.com pace car. Expected to go double file, and we'll be back underway from iRacing's virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. If anybody out there is unfamiliar with the story of North Wilkesboro, one of the most historic tracks of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series era, highly ranked from the fans at the time and even the drivers at the time, that this was one of their favorite racetracks to go to. And as NASCAR moved more towards large super speedway type tracks like the Texas Motor Speedway, Atlanta Motor Speedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and more, this track unfortunately fell by the wayside. But there's a whole campaign to save this speedway, get it back for NASCAR and local short track action, and it lives on in iRacing as we go back racing. Handwork trying to make a move to the bottom of the racetrack. This could be the highest Handwork has been up all day if he can get around the 46 of Adam Jones for that second spot. The 18 sits in third. Caution is back out. More cars around in the back. The 68 of Paul Butler involved this time. Grab another look at this replay here. Looks like it happens off of the restart. 68 of Butler involved. Not sure who else was involved in this one. He goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. There's a little bit of a lip there on the pit road exit, and it looks like cars slamming into each other on the back straightaway. The 001 of Patrick Cooney involved. One other driver involved back here. That looks to be the 48 of David Castelli. Bad day for him turns worse. What happened here? There was multiple cars bouncing off of each other. It looks like the 3 car. Caitlin Bellitter possibly involved in this one. She tapped the wall on the front straightaway. Coming onto the back straightaway. It looks like might have been a slight swerve to the right, but the 001 was also having some issues on the top of the racetrack. Grab one more look at this. We'll go on board with the 001 here, because it does look like he swerves a little bit down, but he was going straight on the back straightaway there, Jordan.
You know, definitely, once these cars get loose, you can't really do anything about it, so you kind of got to go with it. But Josh, if I'm correct, the 001 has been collected so many times this night, I almost feel bad for the 001, because, you know, once you hit that certain point where you hit a certain amount of wrecks, you know, your motivation sort of drops and makes you not really want to try as hard, because you feel like you're just going to get in another wreck.
He has already used his fast repair tonight and started up in 10th, now down into 14th. This is not the night that Patrick Cooney wanted. He was in the running for the Wild Card Championship. Nowhere pot near enough points to warrant himself that win. Derek Sherman currently leads the Wild Card standings, but here in this race, he is currently running in the 5th spot, so obvious to see why he is leading the wild card standings. He has been a consistent driver this entire season. Jordan, it seems like we're always talking about Derek Sherman, just has been able to get it done in victory lane this season.
You know, but it seems like he's having a solid race tonight, so interested in hoping to see if we can have a different winner here tonight.
Entirely possible that we will. They are side by side, 2 by 2, multiple rows deep, as we'll go back to racing here for the virtual North Wilkesboro, and we'll let you experience Racecraft TV Sounds of Speed from virtual North Wilkesboro. Multiple cars having issues out there on the racetrack, and a handful of them going around. That's the 10 Mac Rocket loose with some contact, and caution comes back out. Everybody scattering in turn 2. That looked like it was the 10 of Matt Crockett. That was at the forefront of that incident. Racecraft TV replay. Oh, contact with the 14 of Jimmy Covert, sent him around. Mason Smith in the 6 gets contact. Smith is currently in that playoff. He's in 3rd place right now. The playoffs 8 points above the cut line. This is not what the 6 needed. As Smith will be in 12th place, way down the order from Carl Andrick. He could lose his spot in the playoffs after this race. He could go under the cut line. He's pulling into the pit lane as well. He still has the fast repair available to use, assuming he'll use it here. But Jordan is going to set him way down the order, and with him being a driver above that cut line, only 8 points good to the cut line too. Luckily, Mark Thomas has been out of this race. He was the next car on the cut line, but Paul Butler also having a bad night. Adam Jones running up front. That might be the driver that knocks him out of the playoffs. He's 10 points behind, and right now he's looking like he's going to make up about 7 of them. Mason Smith might be out of the below the playoff cut line after this incident.
You know, if that's the case, he's just got to push harder, because from that wreck, it seemed like he just couldn't do anything about it, and he sort of got dragged into it. But, you know, we see a lot from the 6. He's a pretty quick racer, especially here at North Wilkesboro. And so I'm hoping to see him catch back up to the top of the pack so he can stay above that cut line.
working now. 40 laps to go here from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. And with time quickly running out here, the 2 is just loving all of these cautions because he is able to keep the lead. Nobody even to really make an effort to get by him. That is all that the 2 car needs to keep this lead. 39 laps to go. Taking a look at the upcoming schedule here for the Core Racing Premier Series, you can see a lot of great racing is on the horizon. 410 sprint cars at Eldora next week. We'll have an off week for the 4th of July. Then we'll be right back here on Racecraft TV for the finale, Street Stocks at the Iowa Speedway. Make sure you check those out. Of course, Sunday nights live here on Racecraft TV. Then, of course, Monday nights you can also catch the Core Racing Vintage Cup Series as we continue through the playoffs over there as well. Expected to be an exciting finish to that championship. The 2 choosing the outside line here on the restart. An interesting choice, Jordan. Do you think that'll help him?
You know, you see, I'm pretty sure he's been running the midline, if I'm correct, this whole race. But, you know, he's got the 8 of Kevin Foster on his inside, and we know Foster is good for strategic moves, I would say. And so, interested to see how it goes. As we're back green racing from North Wilkesboro, a great start for the 2 of Nickerson in 1 and 2.
Dives back down to the inside line. Christopher Hamilton finds himself back up here in second after all the madness. Side by side, further back. Handwork right on the door of Derek Sherman, trying to go down to the inside, trying to take over P5. He'll do exactly that as they race off of turn 4. Caution back out on the racetrack. Mark Thomas in the 50 involved on the back straightaway. He came back onto the racetrack and just got involved into another incident after coming back onto the racetrack after being involved in the first incident of the night. Thomas with an incredibly bad night, continuing to turn worse. Oh, Covert came right up into his path, and around they go on the back straightaway.
And it seems like he clipped up on top of the wall, so not what the 50 wanted. You can see another angle of, well, the same angle, but he just completely went sideways up the side of the wall. And Josh, we said this before, that wall's concrete, so that definitely didn't feel good.
And it seemed like over the Irising voice chat, Mark Thomas was wondering, does he have his spotter turned off? We'll leave that quote exactly there. We are working 35 laps to go, about to be 34 laps to go here at the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. We'll grab a quick break on Racecraft TV. But don't go anywhere. Green flag action from the historic North Wilkesboro when we return.
We needed more.
More from our bodies.
More from our minds.
So we went on a mission.
To study the top level of performance across every competitive playing field.
To find what fuels the highest level of athletes, businessmen, and gamers.
Through intense trials across every competitive landscape, we found that there were 5 undeniable principles that help your body operate at the highest level of peak performance all the time.
Focus. The ability to visualize and execute with precision. Focus is the single most important component when it comes to performance.
We combined multiple choline sources, including alpha GPC, choline bitartrate, along with L-tyrosine to help boost mental performance.
Recovery.
We need to take you from 5% to 100% as fast as possible. Bounce back with nourishing BCAAs.
For body and mind. Energy.
Fuel to get the job done. Answer the bell with confidence that you'll be able to attack with energy and intensity.
We mix a blend of instant and sustained release caffeine to light a fire with
300 milligrams of GO.
stamina.
The willpower to see it to the end. But true stamina is coming back day after month after year. We incorporated L-carnitine to deliver energy on a cellular level, with betaine anhydrous and taurine augmenting those effects.
Hydration. Sports science was built on hydration, and it's no secret why.
That's why we added a blend of electrolytes to help sustain performance. We tried all of the other energy drinks. They may help you stay awake, but not much else. We combined all 5 pillars of performance into one single form.
Focus.
Recovery.
Energy,
Stamina.
and hydration. We call it Refresh Technology.
Back green here, the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. 32 laps to go. Make that 31 as they enter turn 1. Hamilton trying to catch up from behind. This is the battle for the lead up here at the front. 2/10 separate both of these drivers as they race back to turn 1. Side by side further back, that's Kevin Foster and Brandon Mettler battling. And pulling away now at the front is the 2. Oh, car stacking up. Derek Sherman involved. The 91 goes into the pit lane to avoid the accident.
It almost seemed like he was also forced to go into pit lane because it seemed like the car was completely turned. But surprisingly, I don't think the yellow flag was thrown, Josh. You can see a replay right here. The 91 gets loose, taps the 51, puts the 35 on the wall, makes contact with the 38, and into the pit lane the 91 goes.
I don't think any of them went slow enough to cause that caution to come out because they all saved it. Everybody's back going straight on the racetrack. Nobody wrecked down and into the pit lane. So a great save from everybody involved. We're still green, 27 to go, and the 2 is pulling away up at the front of the field. Further back, Dylan McDonald pulling into the pit lane. He might have a bit of damage. He does to that front end of that race car. So he'll lose a ton of positions in the pit lane. Kevin Foster trying to hold off Brandon Mettler. Mettler slams the wall in the front straightaway. And here comes the 18 of Carl Andor trying to work his way back up to the front. Dives it to the inside, looking for 4th place on the 15. Still side by side. 15 running a great line in the middle. The 18 not able to get it slowed down quick enough to be able to rotate that corner. Still side by side as they enter 3. Adam Jones watching in the wings right behind the 18. He'll get around Mettler as well. Mettler going to lose 2 spots down into 6th now for the 15. All in front, it's the 2, but the 64 trying to catch up. Christopher Hamilton is not currently locked into the next round. He is trying to close that gap to the race leader and get into the next round of the playoffs. The 2 is locked in. Chris Hamilton is not.
And you can see he got a little loose there before entering 3 and 4. But that gap from him and the 2 is just getting bigger and bigger. So he's got to pick up the pace. But now they're reaching some traffic coming out of the pit lane. So he's definitely got to push in order to make that cut line, I would say, and lock himself into the playoffs.
6/10 the gap. They have Dave Lohr in between them now. 21 to go. And time running out. And Jordan, we've seen a handful of yellow flags tonight. I am willing to bet the 64 is hoping for at least one more so they can close that gap with a caution, stacking the field back up for a restart, and him not having to chase him down because he knows he can't do it under green. Last time by, the lap for Nick Nickerson, 18.373. The lap for Christopher Hamilton, 19.048.
He's definitely going to have to pick that up because even if he gets another caution, the 2 has been so fast off these restarts. He's been gone going into 1 and 2 to a point where the 64 of Hamilton could not catch up. And you can see the gap about 8/10 right now going and exiting 3 and 4. So he's definitely got to push a lot and I guess hope for a next caution.
Hoping for that next caution is all he is doing right now as they'll race back into turn number 1. Now out of 4. Laps continuing to wind their way down. Will Hamilton be able to make up the ground? That's the question everybody is wondering as the laps continue to wind down as well. Short track, these super late models, quick little cars that can easily get around these corners. You barely have to turn these cars around the corners. So they know exactly how to get around these small corners. 15 to go. If Hamilton cannot close this gap, then he's going to have to set his eyes on Eldora Speedway in 1 week's time, because this is going to be 2 in a row here in this round of the playoffs and 4 in a row total for the 2 car of Nick Nickerson. And Jordan, we talk about him so much because he is just the dominant car of the season, not just in the playoffs, not just in the last 4 rounds, but of the season. He's always up front, always running for the win, and he honestly would have had 5 in a row if he didn't make if him and Carl Hendrick didn't make contact in turn 1 at New Hampshire.
And you know, definitely, we say this all the time, he can be in any car, any track, and he'll still be up at the top. And I'm pretty sure, Josh, we've seen it many times. The 2 can fall all the way down to the bottom of the pack, and then within, I would say, we'll go about 20 to 30 laps, he's already back up to the top. So he's definitely I would say, one of the most dominant racers in this series. And so it's crazy just to watch how he works every single car on every single track, and you can just see he's still pulling away from P2 right now.
10 laps to go. Make that 9 to go at the line. Will we see another yellow flag? Field is spaced out. Closest gap on the track right now is these 2 drivers right here. These are the 15 of Brandon Mettler, 8 of Kevin Foster, battling for the 5th spot on the racetrack. Everybody else spaced out. Looks like Handwork might have caught up to the 64 as well. Jump up to the battle for 2nd place. He has. He's right on the back bumper of Christopher Hamilton, looking for the spot. Can he get the spot is the question. Diving to the inside is Handwork. Side by side with the 64. At the line, it will be the 64 powering around the outside, but Handwork's not done on the bottom. Powering around that outside is Hamilton, doing an amazing job. Here comes the lap machine of Matt Crockett. How will that affect this battle? Handwork on the inside, gonna take the spot away. And that is where they are going to finish, as it looks like with the lapped cars. The 64 can't get back to him. Adam Jones now on the back bumper of the 64, looking for the 3rd spot on the racetrack. 1 second separating your leader, however, as he navigates the lap traffic. 4 to go. Can Handwork catch up to the race leader? And with the lapped cars, he is now losing a lot of time. Handwork falling way back. He's around to the back straightaway. Caution is out. This changes everything. Caution is out. We're going to overtime. Jordan, this is exactly the opposite of what the 2 wanted to see. Navigating the lap traffic. Stuck in the middle. Oh, he got loose and around he went. So did the 64. Hamilton went around as well.
You know, Hamilton wanted a caution, but he definitely did not want to be collected in it. You can see another look at the replay. The 18 sort of goes up and comes a little bit down.
He got loose. He might have gotten tapped by the 10. He might have gotten tapped by the 10 of Matt Crockett. Let's go on board with the 10. This is a lapped machine on the outside line. Did they make contact Yes. I think the 18 also got loose, which is what led to the contact, but they did make contact. So now we'll be heading into overtime, which is going to lead these drivers to 2 laps to go. They'll take the green flag, complete that green flag lap. If a caution comes out on that lap, this race will end under caution. We'll only have 1 attempt at that green-white checkered finish. Once the leader takes the white flag, race is official. They will race back to the checkered flag. And will it be the 2? Second place is going to be Adam Jones, who was in second place throughout that middle run, Jordan, from pretty much the first caution until the second caution of the day. These two were up at the front, and Adam Jones was able to reel him in, just not able to get around. Can he get around him on this restart?
You know, the 2 car is so fast off the restarts. The 46 almost has to be, I would say, ahead of him before they even go green. You're not even supposed to go before the leader, and so the 46 has got to think of something, but he's got to think of something that is 100% faster than Nick Nickerson in the 2.
Lights out on the pace car. Double file now the field. Nickerson, Jones, Foster, Metler, Hamilton. That is your top 5. Ryan Watkins, Bellitter, Sherman, Handwork, and Butler. Your top 10. 2 laps to settle it in North Wilkesboro. The field in control of the 2. Pace car down and away. The 2 is gone. We're back underway. Great start once again for the 2 car. Foster trying to make something happen for second place. He's on the inside of Adam Jones. Jones going to pull away in second, but he's still a half second away from the 2. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap around the North Wilkesboro Speedway. A textbook race, never leaving the front position. Never leaving the lead. The 2, Nick Nickerson, goes 4 in a row in the Premier Series. We are witnessing a championship drive. He was locked in with the win last week at Mount Panorama. And now he has one more race on top of that. Does nothing for the championship, but it does something for his credibility, as he has become, even more so now, the championship favorite. The 2 of Nick Nickerson wins at the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. And as we enter our post-race show, we'll grab a look at your Racecraft TV finishing results. An epic drive for the 2 of Nick Nickerson as he wins the race here from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. Adam Jones, Kevin Foster, Brandon Metler, Christopher Hamilton rounds out your top 5. Jeremy Lyon Watkins, Jimmy Covert, Carl Handwork, Joshua Bellitter, Caitlin Bellitter behind the wheel tonight of that 3 car. Great night for her. She'll get a top 10. With Paul Butler rounding out your top 10. Derek Sherman, Wesley Fuller. Derek Sherman, the last car to finish on the lead lap. Wesley Fuller, first car 1 lap down. Dave Lohr, Matt Crockett, Dylan McDonald, John Crane, David Castelli, Mark Thomas, Mason Smith, Paul Owens rounds out the 20-car field here from North Wilkesboro. And as we enter our post-race show, Jordan, this was an epic drive from the 2. We have him up here in the booth now. Nick Nickerson, 4th time in a row that I am talking to you here in the Core Racing Premier Series post-race show on Racecraft TV. How does it feel, man? You were already locked in with last week's win, but now you are just solidifying that you are the favorite heading into the finale.
Man, it feels good to be stealing wins. That's all I say.
And stealing wins is exactly what you're doing. You led every single lap out there tonight. How difficult was it to do that? And was the car favoring you? Was the track favoring you? What was it that got you this win tonight?
Man, I guess just the car and track just kind of clicked with my style. I was really worried about Adam. He had some good speed there. There was a couple times that he almost got the lead on me, but I was able to keep the speed up on the outside and maintain the position. However, I was worried on that last restart because I know he had fresher tires in mine. But it looks like maybe he might have burned them up trying to come back up the field. So I was fortunate enough to come off with the win.
Now, how confident are you in the 410 sprint cars? Because that's where we're going next. And I think this might be the one bump in the road that doesn't make you go 5 in a row. But how confident are you in those cars? They are really tough, especially at Eldora.
Man, I'm confident in driving it. I'm just not confident with racing in it. Anything can happen to those guys. Just a little nick from another competitor will send you flying off to the other side of the wall, So we'll just have to see how it goes, man. It's almost as much of a crapshoot as like plate races.
Nick, thank you so much for joining us here on the post-race show. And congratulations on your 4th win in a row. Insane to say.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you so much. That is Nick Nickerson, driver of the 2 car, and he'll grab the win here from the virtual North Wilkesboro Speedway. That'll do it for our coverage here on Racecraft TV. We thank you for tuning in to tonight's coverage of the Core Racing Premier Series. Join us in 1 week's time when we go racing from the virtual Eldora Speedway in the World of Outlaws virtual 410 NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. For Jordan Hicks, I'm Joshua Lee. Thank you for tuning in, and we're saying good night from the virtual North Wilkesboro.